Hey, so let's talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, buying a home. If you've ever felt like that dream is just completely out of reach, you are definitely not alone. It seems like housing is treated more like a stock market asset than, a place to live. But what if there was a different way? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating alternative called the Community Land Trust.
I mean, that's the big question, right? You work your tail off, you save up, but it feels like the goalposts just keep moving further and further away. And all the while, you're shelling out rent every single month, basically paying off someone else's mortgage while building zero equity for yourself. It is so frustrating, but there might just be another path.
And that other path is what's known as the Community Land Trust, or a CLT for short. It's a model that's designed from the ground up to tackle this whole affordability mess by changing one really fundamental rule of the real estate game. Now, just think about that for a second. What if you could separate those two things? You buy the actual house, the walls, the roof, everything inside, but the ground underneath it, you just lease that from a community organization. This one simple twist is the secret sauce that makes this whole thing work. So you're probably wondering, okay, how does that actually work in the real world? It sounds a little strange at first, I get it. So let's break down the nuts and bolts of how you can own a home without owning the dirt it's built on. Okay, so at the very heart of this is the CLT itself. And the most important word here is non-profit. Their mission isn't to make a buck. It's to buy up land and lock it away in a trust forever. The whole point is to pull land out of that crazy speculative market and turn it into a stable, affordable resource for the entire community. So here's the main difference, laid out plain and simple. With a traditional home purchase, a huge chunk of your mortgage is paying for the land. With a CLT, you're only financing the house itself. You handle the land with what's called a ground lease. It's actually kind of similar to how a condo works. You own your unit, but you don't own the whole building or the land it's on. And look, this is not your typical rental agreement, not even close. The ground lease is all about long-term stability. The monthly fee is really affordable, and, this is huge, any increases are capped. So you're not going to get hit with some wild, unexpected price hike. You can even pass the home and the lease onto your kids. And yeah, you can totally treat the yard as your own. Plant a garden, put up a fence, you name it. And when we talk about long-term, we mean it. A standard lease is for 99 years, and it's renewable. What that gives you is real, lasting security. This isn't some temporary fix. It provides the same peace of mind as traditional homeownership.
But, of course, no single model is going to be perfect for absolutely everyone, and this one involves a trade-off. What you gain in affordability and stability, you trade for something else. So let's take a really honest look at the pros and the cons.
All right, on the plus side, you get incredible stability. No landlord can just decide to sell the property out from under you. The homes are often really high quality, and because you only own the structure, your property taxes are way lower. Now, for the cons, the big one is that you probably won't see the same massive equity gains you might in a hot market. Why? Well, because the goal is to keep it affordable forever. And yeah, there are some rules about what you can do with the land, and for some people, just the idea of not owning the land itself is a tough pill to swallow. So how do they balance your ability to build wealth with the community's need for affordable housing? They do it with something called a shared equity resale formula. It sounds complicated, but it's not. When you go to sell, this formula sets a price that keeps the home affordable for the next person, but it also makes sure you get back every penny you paid down under principal, plus a nice chunk of the appreciation. You build wealth, and the community keeps an affordable home. It's a win-win. And check this out. This is one of the biggest hidden perks of the whole system. You know how in a market crash, traditional homeowners can lose their shirts? Well, the CLT resale formula actually protects you from that. It guarantees you won't get back less than what you paid for the home in the first place. That is a serious financial safety net. I love this quote because it just reframes the whole thing perfectly. Instead of thinking about your house as this high-risk bet on the market, you can think of it like a really stable, reliable savings account. Every mortgage payment you make is like a deposit, and it just grows steadily and safely over time. But this whole idea isn't just some clever financial model. No, it has these deep, really meaningful roots in American history. It was actually born out of a fight for justice and community stability. So, the CLT model actually came out of the civil rights movement in the 60s.
It was created as a way for Black farmers and communities to get control of land and build stable homes when they were being shut out of the system. Then, in the 80s, the model was picked up out in the Northwest to help people like teachers and firefighters afford to actually live in the expensive towns where they worked. So this isn't some new-fangled idea. It's been tested and proven for decades.
And it's not just a small niche thing anymore either. Today, there are about 300 community land trusts up and running all across the United States. In big cities and small rural towns, they're proving that this model can work pretty much anywhere.
And really, it all boils down to this one fundamental change in thinking. Instead of your monthly housing payment vanishing into your landlord's bank account, it's going toward your own equity. Every single mortgage payment is literally a payment to your future self.
What's really cool is that this model gives you options. You could buy a CLT home and decide this is it, this is my forever home, and enjoy that stability for life. Or you can use it as a stepping stone. You live there for, say, 7 to 10 years, build up that savings account of equity, and then use that cash as a down payment on a traditional home. The power is completely in your hands. So that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. For so long, the American dream has meant owning a piece of land. But in a world where that's just not realistic for so many of us, maybe the answer isn't to give up on the dream. Maybe it's to rethink what that dream really is. Maybe it's less about owning the dirt and more about just having a stable, secure, wonderful place to call home.